And I call on Nancy Higgins to make the motion. And do we have, there she is, right in front there.
I move in terms of the article.
Second. Can I speak to it?
Could you just leave mine on? I promise not to talk inappropriately. Henry Lappin, who's the chair of the Public Shade Tree Committee, will be speaking to the motion, and you have 5 minutes, Mr. Lappin.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. I appreciate you taking the time for this motion. The ordinance in front of you, we've worked on in the tree committee for quite a while. We've run it by, we've worked with Alan Snow, the tree warden, on it. We've run it by Guilford Mooring, a bunch of people in the town government. I can't think of them. Christine Brestrup from Planning, Guilford Mooring, Paul Bockelman, and the town attorney have all seen this. We've had problems in the past with people cutting down trees illegally. We've also had problems with people balking at paying the fee, which goes into the tree replacement fund. So this ordinance will help give just a little more oomph to the policy that Alan Snow, the tree warden, now uses. We want to make it into an official ordinance. And I think that'll be really the best thing for our town. It'll really help protect our trees. In one of the precinct meetings, it came up, people wondering about damaged or diseased trees or dangerous trees, and this article does not affect those at all. Alan Snow, the tree warden, can still make a decision right away and take those down if they're a danger. This will protect our healthy trees and make sure we can keep moving forward on having a nice tree canopy in Amherst. Thanks for considering it.
Thank you. I now call on Mr. Wald from the Select Board.
Not yet, still. There we go. Okay, on October 16th, the Select Board voted unanimously to support this article for the reasons stated. It highlights the importance of the Shade Tree Commission and its mission and clarifies its workings for the public. It brings reference to Mass General Law into our local bylaws and establishes procedures for creating regulations and enforcement. We urge you to vote yes.
Thank you. Finance Committee took no position. Do you have a statement, Finance Committee, or just no position? Just no position. Okay. This requires a majority vote, and we are open to discussion from the floor. Is there any discussion? I see a hand way over there with a white card.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Jim Brissett, Precinct 6. My question is, there's a lot of town projects either underway or about to get underway, and I can suppose that some of those projects may involve the need or potential need to remove healthy shade trees and presumably then plant new ones in a new spot. So how would this bylaw affect any of the projects that are either underway or about to start in the next couple years? Thank you.
We happen to have a tree warden here, so if you want to get up, introduce yourself. We can.
Hi, everybody. Alan Snow, Division Director of Tree and Grounds and DPW, tree warden and Amherst resident. Currently, the policy that I've been using for about 8 years now exempts the town from the impact of the replacement cost. So this bylaw will allow the select board and tree warden to develop the policy, and at that point, things could be discussed, but I have no intention of adding more cost to our projects at this point for the town benefit.
Thank you. Further discussion? Are we ready to come to a vote? I see no hands. We will come to a vote. Is there a hand? Okay, I see a hand right there.
Vince O'Connor, Precinct 1, and this is addressed to the tree warden if he's able to answer it. The town is currently in the middle of a process of spending literally in the hundreds of thousands of dollars to install street trees, public shade trees, essentially, after a number of decades where most of the activities of the tree warden was to remove dead and dying street trees. And I wonder if, I see a lot of these trees being planted in various places, and I just wonder if you could, hopefully, we won't use this bylaw very often. And I just wonder what steps you and the Shade Tree Committee are taking to make sure that your efforts in planting trees result in as few as possible of those trees perhaps being subject to this bylaw in the future. How do you go about that and in spending your money and installing these the various shade trees across the town that you're doing now?
Mr. Snow?
Not quite sure if I understood the question, but I'll try to answer. So, I mean, right now, the bylaw is for the removal of healthy public shade trees, trees that are in the public way that are being removed for various reasons. So each tree's, removal is taken independently of other removal requests. We look for good locations to plant new trees. We plant the right tree in the right place so that in the future you won't have to cut that tree down because you planted it right on top of a gas line or a sewer line, or you planted it too close to the road when you know in 10 years, 15 years, they're probably going to put a sidewalk there. So we do our best to locate tree locations where they will have a chance to grow to become mature shade trees. And I work closely with private landowners to help put those trees in setbacks so they're not impacted.
Thank you. We ready to come to a vote? I see no hands. This requires a majority for passage. All those in favor of the motion under Article 12, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, please say no. The ayes have it.